Welcome to Exploring Judaism's podcast, Holiday Bites. We are talking about the high holidays. I'm grateful to be talking to Rabbi Jacob Blumenthal. Welcome to the show.
Thanks very much, Rabbi Jeremy. It's great to be with you.
Glad to have you here. Well, why don't you start us off by taking a moment to introduce yourself?
So I'm Rabbi Jacob Blumenthal. I serve as the CEO for two organizations in the Masorti conservative movement, the Rabbinical Assembly, 1,600 rabbis all over the world, and the United Synagogue of Conservative Judaism, USCJ, which is a network of about 550 congregations across North America. Before that, I served as a congregational rabbi for over 20 years, a founding rabbi of Shari Torah in Gaithersburg, Maryland, and I still live in Gaithersburg outside Washington, D.C., with my wife, and my adult children are nearby.
It's wonderful. Starting a month before Rosh Hashanah and all the way through the end of Sukkot, a period of about 50 days, is known as a time of introspection, the month of Elul and the high holidays. What does this season mean to you as a person, as a rabbi, as a family member, as a friend? What does this season mean to you?
So what I love about our cycle of holidays is that they allow us to really focus on different things at different times. Passover is about our national Jewish peoplehood experience. But Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and this whole season, this is a focus, this is a moment where we can focus on ourselves. I think about three questions. First of all, what am I grateful for at this moment? And then two other questions. Who is in my life? And what's my relationship like with each of those important people? And what's important to me? And am I my best self when it comes to those things that are supposed to be important to me?
A major theme of this period is slicha, which is generally translated as forgiveness. How might you translate that word and share a bit about the idea of forgiveness and what that means to you?
To me, forgiveness is about, can we act like a duck? Can we let things roll off our back? Can we understand when we've been wronged, but can we also find ways to let that go? What do we need, either from another person or from ourselves, to have the strength to let things go and to move forward in life? There's the image of the sacrifices in ancient times, I think, is really crucial to me on Yom Kippur. This idea that sins accrue over the course of a year. And if we don't have any mechanism to let them go, we would become overwhelmed, both personally and as a people, by the mistakes that we've made. And we would literally become weighed down. The idea of the imagery on Yom Kippur of the priest putting his hands on the heads of a goat, loading those sins onto the goat and sending that goat out into the wilderness is our way of freeing ourselves from those mistakes and allowing us to go into the new year with a sense of lightness, a sense of having let go and being able to move forward.
Tell us a little bit about one activity or process you might recommend to someone who wants to engage in this spiritual preparation in Elul before Rosh Hashanah.
So there's this great book, The Tashlich Walk. And we always talk about like the tashlich part, the standing by the edge of the body of water and putting our, breadcrumbs or whatever into the sea. I like to focus on the walk part. I think that the walk, whether it's for tashlich or just going on a walk, that to me is my key moment. It's usually for me more important. I try to do it at some point during the holiday season, and even on Yom Kippur, I try to take a long walk if I'm feeling up to it in my fast. That's where I'm not with other people. I'm with my own thoughts. There's no phone with me. There's none of that other stuff that can be so distracting. And I just really try to focus on the three questions that I talked about. What am I grateful for? Who am I grateful for? And what's important to me for the coming year?
The two big holidays during this period, the ones that most people are coming to synagogue for, are Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. What is the essential message of these two holidays to you? How are they similar and how are they different?
So Rosh Hashanah, to me, kind of looks backwards. How's the past year been? And what am I grateful for? Standing here, grateful to have experienced another year in my life in the Jewish calendar. Yom Kippur is the moment to look ahead, to say, great, given that, what do I want the next year to be? How can I be my best self? How can I bring my best self to each part of my life, my family, my work, my relationships, and what do I need to work on in the coming year. So first looking back, then looking forward.
During the season, starting with Rosh Hashanah, moving through Yom Kippur, through Sukkot, Simchat Torah, Shmini Atzeret, one might find themselves sitting in synagogue for a tremendous amount of time. What advice do you have for people who are sitting in services and not feeling connected?
My advice is don't worry about keeping up with the service. Take a look at the prayer book in front of you, which has the wisdom of thousands of years of our people's best literature, poetry, and thought, and find one phrase that you find interesting, puzzling, infuriating, and think about that for a while. Don't worry about, there's so many words in the Machzor, in the Siddur, in the prayer book. Don't worry about all those words. Find one phrase that you really want to focus on and turn that over in your head for a while. How does that help me answer the questions that I have in my life?
The end of this holiday season are the holidays of Sukkot, Shmini Atzeret, and Simchat Torah. The main themes of these holidays are joy and celebration. The tradition calls them Zman Simchatenu, the time of our joy. What does Simcha, joy, mean to you, and how can we carry that joy throughout the whole year?
There's this phrase in Pirkei Avot in the Talmud that says, who is wealthy? Ezehu Ashir, right? Who is a wealthy person? Hasamech bechelko, the person who finds a way to be happy with their portion in life. So I think about it both in terms of gratitude. How can we be appreciative of what we have been given? But that doesn't mean, of course, that we want more. It just means we have to figure out how we can want more, how we can tie our sense of ambition to our sense of gratitude and not allow that ambition, that desire to make us unhappy. First, appreciate what we do have, and then think about what could come next, either for ourselves or for the people we care about.
If you could have a billboard or you wish people knew one thing about this season, what would you want them to know?
We often think about this season as being serious. It's about repentance and atonement. What is so striking is this is about joy and celebration of life. So my billboard phrase would be a phrase that we read at this time of the year in the Torah, Uvacharta b'chayim, choose life. Think about how can I connect with the life-giving force in the universe, the life-giving force that's around me, the blessings that I'm receiving every day.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show. I'm glad to have you here. Thank you for your wisdom.
Thank you, Rabbi Jeremy. It's great to talk with you.